Good evening, everyone. I hope everybody's doing well. And hope everybody's doing well. So welcome to Sow and Tare Live. I'm Katrina. This is Sow and Tare Live. And we do this every Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And you're always welcome. I ask people where they're from and what they're growing. And it's a lot of fun. If you have questions, put them in the chat and we'll talk about them. If you have discussion topics, do the same and we'll talk about that. If we're talking about something you want to talk about, tell us what you want to talk about. We'll talk about it. So I hope everybody's doing well. And I do have an announcement, but I'm going to wait maybe 10 minutes in and we'll go from there. So welcome, everyone. I'm going to start up at the top of the comments. I go through the comments, and then in the middle, I will have a discussion topic that is pre-planned. And if you've been paying attention, you might know what it is. All right. We're going to have lots of hellos and highs at the beginning. All right. Ed says second like. I'm probably late as soon as... Okay. Well, we'll do that. I know Dawn was on here first. Her comment never shows up because it's too early. Verna's here, third like, and from what I see, second comment. All right. And Verna is Vay's place. She's in blue with a little wrench, and she is my moderator. She has her own YouTube channel. She does lives on Saturdays and Wednesdays as well. If you're looking at growing food in an apartment and growing animals in an apartment, she is your go-to place for that. So there we go. Welcome. Steve says, on my way. All right. Be there shortly. I like all the different things here. Erica's here. Hey, guys. She says, hey, Erica. Hope you're doing well. And Steve is all completely here. Good to know. Welcome, Steve. Now we have 6 likes. He says, we are up to 12 and 12, so that's good. That's good. There was a first attempt. All right. Buster says hi to all. Hi, Buster. And Vernon wants to know where Aaron and PJ are. I don't know. They might be on here already. They might be on here. Uh-oh. YouTube didn't take your like, huh? Or try it again, Steve. It's okay. Everybody's saying hi. And Verna says, everyone hit the thumbs up. Yes, that helps me. Helps the YouTube people know that you guys like it and see more of this kind of content and helps push this out to other people. All right. And remember, I do have this as a replay. So if you want to forward to someone, have a good discussion about some topic that they would be interested in, you could do that. It's awesome. Oh, Steve has a hatch. Lost track of the number of chicks, 40 something. Yeah, it's easy to lose track, especially if they're still in the incubator and not running around. Yeah. Lucy is frantic. Verna, are you guys going to have an earthquake or something? Lucy's a dog. Pay attention to her. I'll understand if you're not on here. Dawn says, good evening from South Central Illinois. First like. Yep. Yep. I saw it. The Steve says one jumped out of the back of the incubator and found its way into the drain pipe. That was a fun save. Steve, are you the one that lost a quail in the garage too? Like a while ago? Need to get little quail leashes for them. The quail in my aviary are doing good. Mama has 5 babies still. So she started with 9. When I came and saw them, there was 8 that were alive. And then she's down to 5. I actually didn't find the body of this last one that died, so I don't know if it got buried, which is likely because I had a quail kind of dig underneath where the baby food is because it wanted to get to the baby food. It's like trying to get in there. I don't know what happened to it, but she only has 5 now. But all those guys are doing well. I haven't seen any interactions with them and the adults that's negative. Mom's still chasing the adults away though, so hey. Hey, PJ's here. She says, I'm here. Welcome, PJ. Everybody's saying hello. Steve says, and one was fully fluffy, but its bottom end was still in the shell. Uh-oh. Is its intestine secured? Hopefully it's able to come out. Yeah, that's not fun. Buster says, congratulations on the hatch, Steve. Yes, I agree. And JJ saying hi, all. Hi, PJ. Sorry, PJ's up there. Hi, JJ. All right. Everybody's saying hi. Everybody looks happy. That's good. It's good. And you jumped already. So you guys are talking. Oh, and Verna has a request. Please, if you have a store online, make sure she gets the links ASAP. And Verna, I watched the rest of your live. Listen to it today. And it looks like you already have mine. So hopefully that's good. Thank you. Here I am. Yep, here I am. PJ's in New York. Hey, Folster Farms here. Hey, y'all. Hey, Mandy. Mandy, you can give me a call anytime. I know we kind of got waylaid on different things. Except for now. Now I'm busy. Steve says, Mississippi here, lovely 70 degrees, and new chicks that I grew in the brooder. Awesome. Erin's here. Hi, everyone. Welcome, Erin. Good to see you. Is your greenhouse done yet? I've been seeing the videos. Erica says, hey, Katrina, I like the top. Thank you. Ross. Cheap. That's what I do. But thank you. Silver Creek's here. Howdy, y'all. Hi, Silver Creek. Welcome. And Guidro's Family Farm is here. Hi, Christina. Welcome. All right. Everybody's saying hello, hi. Aaron, you're late. That's from Steve. 13, Jay says, I'm having a hard time finding play sand for the quail dust baths. Is it a seasonal thing? Nope. It is. Do you have a Lowe's or Home Depot? It's going to be in the same department where they have like cement bags, like bags of cement. Depending on your hardware store, it may be a tag that you get and you give to them and then they get it for you. I know there used to be a hardware store around here. They always did that where you just drive in and then they load it. So you might just ask them for that. It might be one of those, but usually it's by the bags of cement and bags of like the little pea gravel type stuff. It's called something else, but that kind of stuff, it's in that area. And yeah, any hardware store should have that. It's used for a lot of different things. Construction sand is fine too. I mean, it just has it's a different size is my understanding. But yeah, play sand is the cheaper one. Yeah, hopefully that helps. Don says, I started to lock down last night and candled. 100% of it was infertile. It probably wasn't infertile. I know people say that all the time when something doesn't grow, but something probably happened with your incubator. If there's no growth in the eggs, it could be that they're infertile. If they're your own eggs and you have light on them, it should not be that way. And if you have shipped eggs, they should be fine unless they were old. So if they're from my shire, they're probably fine. If they're from somewhere else, I have no idea what different people's policies are. I would ask whoever, if it's not your own eggs, I would ask whoever's eggs they are, what day they were laid on, because they should have that information to give to you. Because it's either that or something happened with your incubator. So I would run your incubator, Dawn, through a cycle, and you don't have to go you don't have to go all 2 weeks, but put in thermometers to see what's going on. And if you have a Govee in there already, you might want to look and make sure it's calibrated, because I mean, anything electronic can get out of whack, right? I mean, I know a lot of people recommend the Govee thermometer. It's worked great for me, but it does have to be calibrated. It comes calibrated, but it does have to be calibrated, and anything electronic can get uncalibrated and will have to get recalibrated. So I would put in just like a regular thermometer that's like an analog thermometer and see what's going on, because it sounds like that's what's happening, is something with the temperature, or maybe your fan went out. Maybe, I don't know, but hopefully you figure that out, because that really sucks. Fulster Farm says lucky 13. Yep, lucky 13. Hey, Fran's here. Haven't seen you in a while, Fran. Welcome. Hello, everyone. Just stopped in to give a like and a hi. Hi. Welcome. All right. Aaron says, Aaron's saying hi to everybody. And everybody's saying hi back. All right. JJ waves. You're cute. You're cute. Okay. Verna says that you took Lucy out. She took out like a bat out of hell. There must be something out there to chase. Yeah. Maybe she'll bring you a wool. Steve says, had 2 chicks running around, thought they were tied together, though. One chick had the other chick's toe in its mouth. I've had that happen. I hear more about it than I've experienced. I've only experienced that on one hatch, but it was like, and the chick was like, what are you doing, dude? That's my foot. Yeah, sorry. Hopefully it didn't hurt the other one too bad. Silver Creek says, my hen stopped laying for like 3 weeks. Just got eggs today for the first time since. Anyone else have laying issues this past month? So my girls, the jumbos are actually, the jumbo wilds are actually in molt right now, and I'm still getting eggs, which is kind of fun because usually they stop. So if your birds are molting, then they reduce their eggs usually. If they don't have enough light, so like let's say if you have supplemental light on them, but it's not enough because the hours of actual daylight, natural daylight change, and maybe it starts to drop off, you start to notice the eggs are missing, you're less, then you start supplemental light. It could take a couple weeks for them to kick in and go, oh, it's spring again, let me start laying. So that could be something. And then something else that can make them stop laying is if there's something that happens. So maybe there was a predator around that you were unaware of, and maybe didn't see at night or something, or some other change that happened that they were not okay with. So those are my suggestions. I don't think you would have had any big weather events there, right? The only time my birds stopped laying because of weather was this last winter, when it was just really, really windy, and the tree that's right next to and above them was making tons of noise. And I mean, there was so much noise going on and so much wind. They were totally protected from the wind, but the sound of it was something that they're not used to. I mean, you can set off tons of fireworks, they're fine, right? And they did stop laying for I think it was a week and a half. But yeah, those would be the reasons. So do any of those make sense to you? Do those oh yeah, that's what happened? Hopefully it was one of those. Dawn's asking Berta, was she chasing something? Yeah, that's what I was saying. Hey, Linda. Linda's here. Welcome, Linda. Hey, happy to see everyone here. Linda says, absolutely happy you're here. I hope everything's going well on your side. Oh, you guys jumped. Hang on, I gotta scroll up. My goodness, you gotta scroll up a lot. Okay. Steve says to Silver Creek, do you have supplemental light or just changed, or are you molting? I don't think Silver Creek is molting, but his birds might be. Good points though. And she might have eaten too many quail eggs, Lucy. That's funny, Verna. Everybody's saying hi. Oh, the other thing. Okay. Everybody's saying hi. Man. Steve says, the shell chick was fully intact. I put it back in the incubator to dry off its rear end. Okay. Good. Good, because that would be a very sad thing. Verse says if she eats too many eggs, she gets the runs. Oh. Silver Creek says, I have solar lights in there, and I'm noticing some excess feathers, but they just hit age a month ago. Should they be molting that soon, though? They just hit age? Are you saying, so how old are they? Like they just started laying a month ago? They should be, I don't know that they would be going through their first molt, but it is kind of a seasonal thing. So it could be, I mean, if there's a lot of feathers in there, that probably what's happening. Yeah. Don says a lot of people's quail are molting and reporting egg production drops off. Yes. Yeah. I mean, they're concentrating their energy and their resources on growing new feathers at that point. So I did just do a video last week, I think it was, called Feathers Everywhere. And that was for my chickens, but the same thing's happening with the quail. I just felt like I should do a chicken video because I haven't done many chicken videos, and I figured our girls needed some spotlight. I do also have a video on quail molting that I did last year that if you're unsure what you're looking at, you can watch that video and you can see exactly what's happening. Now, one thing that happens is basically their backs become bare. Like they can become bare. They look really bad. They look like they've been overbred, like stand on and stuff. They can get pretty bare on their backs, and they just look raggedy when that happens. But then the new feathers come in and they're completely fine. So yeah. Silver Creek says, I'm wondering if something in the air. You're in high desert, right? Or desert? Is that right? Did I get that right? Was there a dust storm that went through maybe? I don't know how dust storms might affect them, but I'm assuming that they would be affected by it. Because that would be pretty traumatic to be out in a dust storm. Just trying to think of things. Hiya. Bob's here. Howdy. Welcome. Verna says you can order play sand from Amazon as well. You can. The benefit of getting it at the hardware store is that sometimes if they have open bags, they're $1 each. So if there's so many times where like they bring a forklift in and they do this and it's like, oh, that's a half a bag or whatever. The forks get a bag. But yeah, so there are other ways to get it, but I think that was JJ that was asking the question, right? I think if you go into whatever hardware store you're in and just ask for sand, do you have sand? And then sometimes they'll say, oh, I don't know. Because sometimes the people that are the register they're not knowledgeable of what's not in the store, but in maybe like a warehouse next door. But you might say play sand. You might also use the words construction sand or sand for building things or sand for construction. Like sometimes you have to use words around what you're actually looking for. That's something that I found in a lot of hardware stores is that the people who are at the registers are there to do the money part. They don't necessarily know the hardware part. So you kind of have to talk around it to get to where you're at. But usually it's either a bag near where the cement is, or it's a ticket, like it's a piece of paper that you take off the wall or that you have to get from them, from the cashier, and then you take that over to somewhere and get it. So that makes sense. Hopefully it made sense. Silver Creek says, would pool filter sand be good? It's not as dusty, but maybe a supplemental sand. I have no idea what pool filter sand is. So if it's just a sand that's been filtered, I don't know what it is. I don't know what that is. Does anybody else know the answer to Silver Creek's question about filter sand? Steve says Lowe's doubled the price of play sand. I moved to construction sand. Okay. I bought it not that long ago. And unfortunately, I didn't have any broken bags, so I had to pay full price. So I actually didn't know how much it was because the last several times I've gone there, there's been open bags. They said they're all out. Construction sand has too much silicone powder. Okay. If they're all out, then they'll have it again. So that's good. Linda says, question, every once in a while, I have to take care of some chicken chicks that come back from hatching at home. Sometimes I have to put them in with my quail brooder. The quail and chicks are about the same size. Are there any dangers to doing this? The only thing I know is that there's potential for disease to go in between chickens and quail. And that's only if the chicken has a disease to give, right? So I know that's the reason, that's the reason they claim. That's one of the reasons that Tractor Supply does not take return chicks, is because of a potential for exposure to disease. But a lot of people do things they're not supposed to, and it works. So I would say that is your call on the risks that you want to take. And if you are doing, so I know you're with Wendy, and if you trust Wendy's birds and she's not had issues with them being, sick, and who knows what a chicken might have and not outwardly express, right? So like if they have a cold, you might not even know, right? Anyway, so if you trust that, because I think that's where you're getting your chickens, the chicken chicks, and then you know that where your quail are coming from because they're coming from you, then I would say that your chances of that are lower because you know the sources. But it's still something that you're going to have to say, oh, I'm okay with that risk, or, oh, I'm not. So yeah, that's up to you. Sorry, I don't have a better answer. But there are diseases that transfer, and chickens are stronger than quail in that respect, typically. So there you go. Dawn says, Katrina, they were infertile, 100% bad rooster. I killed him. Okay. He's not making any more. How old was he, Dawn? Did he just age out? Oh yeah, Verna is clarifying that she doesn't have enough roos. Okay. You got to get more roos. And JJ says, ooh, Silver Creek products. You gave me an idea. If I can find construction sand, then I could wash out the powder. Yeah, if that's what's if that's the bad part, then you could definitely wash it out. Yeah, that's a good idea. Linda says, oh, I already read that. Bob says, I have started putting a hutch number on eggs to see if I have a rooster shooting blanks. That is a great idea. Wow, we're further than 10 minutes in, so I'm going to just say this now. So my announcement, more than 10 minutes in because I got sidetracked. I made memberships available. So I know I talked about it before on the lives of doing that and having a live cook with me as one of the things that is a part of the membership. So I did it. So it's available. There should be, I don't know if it's on the live or if it's on the other videos, but there should be a button that's a join on the bottom, right below the screen. And if you go there, There is 3 options, and they're all the same thing right now. So I'm using Steve's words, Katrina's kits. So if you want to be one of Katrina's kits in the group, in the membership, there are 3 levels. 1 is Garden Nibbler, 2 is Growing Wiser, and 3 is Homestead Warrior. So those are the 3 levels. It's at 3 different price points. And right now, everybody gets the same thing. So right now, it's just one thing. And I decided to do it this way because I saw this happen on another channel, and she explained it really, really well. And I agree with this. So I would like for people to be able to afford an extra experience that I can, monetize. I mean, I am trying to make this a business. But then if people do want to give more back, then I would like to offer that opportunity. That makes sense. So right now, what I plan is it's going to be a cook with me. I'm planning it to be somewhere mid-month. I don't have a date chosen yet. And it's going to be live for members only. And what I'm going to do is I will send out the ingredient list for what you would want to get. You can watch it and not cook too. That's fine. But the goal of this is for us to cook together, experience a recipe together, and to have question answer while that is happening, so that we can learn and talk and have fun and all that while things are cooking. So what I will do is I'll put out on the community tab the ingredient list, and then that gives an announcement for people to say, okay, if you're not already one of Katrina's kits, join to join this live event. And then the people who are a part of that will then be able to do the live cook with me. And so I have some fun things planned in my head for this, and I hope that people are interested. People sounded interested when we talked about it before. It's been a while though, and I've just had too much to do to even start it. But that is my plan. And then I reserve the right to add things to the higher tiers at a later time. Might be a while, but that is my plan right now. So if you have questions about that, let me know. And if you want to jump in, you can click the little join button. I think it's on the bottom here. If it's not on this, it'll be on the videos. I know it's already on videos, so I'm not sure about the live. So there's my announcement. Yay. And it's going to be a lot of fun. All right. So I'm going to get back to the comments. And Dawn says to Verna, I had enough ruse, LOL. Now I'm short one. He went out with me, yelling at him. He tore up 2 hens. Then I found out he didn't know how to do his job. Dawn, I have talked about this in the past, that how I pick, actually I talked about this at QuailCon, how I picked my males, and still pick my males to keep. I always keep more than I need. So like if I need 5, then maybe I'll keep 8. And once those other males are out of the picture, then they redo their pecking order. They redo all of that. And I had one male that was like, he was the biggest, he was the best, he was best looking, he was super good looking, healthy, big bones, everything you want in a quail. But the ladies wouldn't let him do his job. They didn't like him. He just was, that gym jerk. So I didn't choose him. So I think when you're choosing them, and maybe he wasn't always that way, but maybe he was. But when you're choosing them, I always like to see that they are nice to the ladies and the ladies let them do the job. So yeah, that's for your next trial. That's what I would recommend. And then once I narrow it down, then the other ones go to freezer camp as well. Silver Creek says, yeah, JJ, just put it in a 5-gallon bucket, stick a water hose in, let it run for 30 minutes. Okay. Silver Creek says, that's how I clean stands for my aquarium to get the dust out. That is a good, that's a good advice. And he does a lot of aquarium stuff, so I would definitely trust what he says about that. So good tip. And we're going to put a link to Play Sand. Bob says, I bought a couple of Taylor analog thermometers. They can be calibrated and are cheap too. Good. Silver King says yes. Hey, Andy Rabbit. Welcome to the conversation. And everybody's saying hello. JJ says, LOL, I'm too tired to type everyone's named in, but glad to see everyone. I understand this. And Guido's Family Farm has a suggestion for Linda. Linda, we don't brood our chicken chicks and quail chicks together. A few days at most if you need to, but I don't recommend it. All right. Sue says, JJ, just say all. That's all our initials. Yeah, and Verna says, personally, I would not have chicken chicks with quail chicks because of size and how cannibalistic chickens are. I think if they're the same size when they're young. So she's saying, like, here's the size of the chicken chick and here's the size of the quail chick. I think that's more comparable than here's the size of the chicken chick and here's the size of the quail chick. So, but yeah, it is going to be a personal decision. Yeah. And Bob put 44 eggs in the incubator yesterday. Good luck. Are you trying anything different with your elevation? So Bob is at what, 7,000 feet, I think, elevation? Is that what you said? How are you trying anything different with this hatch? And everybody's saying good luck, happy hatching. Andy says, I just got home from getting quail, pheasant, and chicken trays for the GQF. A good deal. I think it was 15 quail, 12 pheasant, and 4 chicken trays for about what 2 sets of quail trays would have cost. Awesome. You finding all the deals. You're so lucky. Oh, and you guys jumped again. I gotta scroll up. Hang on. All right. And yeah, you guys keep on talking. Gotta catch up. All right. Silver Creek says, yeah, no weather changes really, except it hasn't been 120 outside. Today was 90, much cooler for us. So you had a cold snap. I don't know what to tell you. I'm assuming it's either molting or maybe there was a predator at nighttime that you don't know about. And a predator can mean something that they see and not necessarily, it doesn't have to touch them, doesn't have to terrorize them. It could just be something scary. It is the month of Halloween. Verna says, yep, she stinks when she came in home. It was too many quail eggs. Well, I'm glad you let her out. She didn't have to do that inside. Oh. And Linda wants to know from Guidro's why you don't recommend it. All right. And Andy Rabbit says, how's everyone doing tonight? Everyone's doing great so far, I think. I don't know if you missed it or not. I just announced that I have memberships now for the channel. And we're going to do a live cook with me. And I think you're probably here because I'm way behind. Yeah, Dawn's saying awesome deal. And congrats to Andy. Hey, Andy Quail, Aaron says. Oh, boy. Everybody's saying hi. Yeah, you feel you got a great deal? Yeah, I think you did get a great deal, Andy. Yeah, Silver Creek says, could be a predator. We have a watchdog, Catahoula, that insists on babysitting them at night. Maybe a raccoon or possum slips by him. That is so cute. But yeah, it could have been something. Bob says, I got an egg today without a shell. Is that called a fairy egg? Luna swallowed it whole. Fairy eggs are very small eggs. That's what a fairy egg is. A shellless egg is just a shellless egg. And it happens every once in a while, usually to new layers, but I have had it happen every once in a while to an older layer, and it just is the way it is. If you have them every single day for a while, be concerned. If it's just a couple days or, here and there, whatever, don't be concerned at all. If it's a new layer, give her time. Yeah, that's funny. Silver Creek is laughing. Yep, I'm definitely molting myself. Wow, I'm way behind in the conversation. Steve says a fairy egg is usually in a shell, just itty bitty. Yeah, they literally can be like that big, like smaller than button quail size. Guido says a bacterial issue more than anything. I find the chances of coccidiosis with your chicken chicks spreading to your quail chicks is too much of a danger. That is an excellent point. Thank you, Christina. JJ says, I'll just blame you to Verna when my delivery person comes in the door with a huge bag of sand. Yeah, Dawn, or yeah, JJ, then you have to carry it out to where you go. You're like, can you deliver it to here? Can we open it and you pour it in here? How funny. I kind of feel that way when I order azomite, because I order that through Amazon. And by the way, as the azomite people were at the Heirloom Expo, and I will be getting in touch with them again, and not again. I talked to the lady when she was there, but I will be getting in touch with her and putting together an update video for rock dust. So that'll happen at some point in the future, because she had some new information, which basically says it gets to the point of bioavailableness. That's a word now. It becomes bioavailable much quicker than previously thought, or at least previously that I said. And there's data to support that. Andy Rabbit says, I just chicken trays just in case someone wants to pay me for hatch them. Yep. That's always a good thing, just to think about potential money avenues, for sure. Rita says, Bud to Bob, no, that is simply a shellless egg that was laid too soon. A fairy egg is about the size of your thumbnail. Yeah, it's also called a fart egg or a rooster egg. Roosters don't do eggs. Silver Creek says they laid their first eggs 1 month ago, give or take a day or two. Yeah, I would still say potentially molting. It'd be kind of odd, but potentially molting, or more likely a predator. But if there's feathers all over the place, they are molting, or in a big fight. I don't know. And Verna says she agrees with Guidros about the chicken and quail together. JJ says that bag is too expensive. I'll just keep looking locally. Yeah, I bet it's a tag. I bet you have to get a tag and give it to someone. Yeah. I saw that, Verna. Yeah, Verna showed one of her jumbo whites. Is that right? Molting on her Saturday live, and yeah, that was a really good example of what they look like. They look like they have bare backs. Oh, Andy Rabbit says, Katrina, that's one happy looking shirt. We could Bob Ross it. That's a happy little shirt. Thank you. Verna says is 25 pounds will last a while. Yeah, it's so funny. My birds are funny. They will love the sandbox when it's fresh and new, and they're like, oh my gosh, there's sand. And I'm sure I could take the sand out and pour it back in and they'd be just as excited. But they pull in like sticks. Like, I mean, I had a full on like twig that was in the wood chips, like this long. I don't know why. Like, why are you bringing that into the sandbox with you? You don't even lay eggs. Like, they do lay some eggs, but it's not like they're nesting in there. And they don't do that anyway. It's just ridiculous because I always have to take it out. Yeah, there you go. Erica says, Bob, we always called shellless eggs fart eggs. Oh, I was thinking fart eggs were fairy eggs, but it's okay. I don't think it's a specific term. Silver Creek says, I'm in north central Texas. Yeah, we do get dust from Africa and from West Texas, the red dirt, depending on the wind. Yep. So, and if it weren't for our lake, we would be a desert here. Okay. Steve says Home Depot and Lowe's app will tell you which location in the store. That is true. I tend not to use it, so I don't go there. I don't go that direction. But that is true. Eagle Mountain Lake. Are there eagles and a mountain at your lake? Cool. Bob says to Silver Creek, are you in high desert area? I am in western New Mexico at about 7,800 elevation. I underestimated your elevation. So Bob's always looking for high elevation compadres. Is that what we're saying? High elevation people living at high elevations to compare things and get help for things. Yeah. All right. You guys got it covered. Silver Creek is 22 miles northwest of Fort Worth. Average of 712 elevation. So you're missing the 0. But you have a lot of hills here. All right. JJ says, wow, prices have gone way up. Yes, they have. I went to the grocery store yesterday to Safeway. I usually shop at like grocery outlet because it's less expensive and you find fun things there, and it's not always less expensive. Sometimes they have expensive stuff. But I haven't been to like Safeway in a very long time, and went last night, and it was amazing to look at all the prices. I'm like, oh, and that's the sales price? Oh, okay. Mostly went there for toilet paper because they usually have good deals on toilet paper. And they had a sale on toilet paper, but its sale was not what it used to be. It wasn't pre-pandemic prices, that's for sure. I always keep extra, so whenever I run out of one, I still have some, but whenever I run out of one, I go to the store and get more. Gotta have a rotation. And by doing that, you don't get desperate like people did. I've been doing that a long time. Bob says pool filter sand might be too fine and too clean to have silica powder. Might be bad like DE dust. I don't know about that. Because filter sand, I don't know. That's a good thought. I don't know about that. Silver Creek says, I'm in a low area in a valley, and pool filter is high in silicate. Okay. JJ says, I found a patio or paver sand at a good price. I wonder if it's safe. I have no idea what the different makeups of the sand are. I just know I use play sand, and it's always worked, and it's always been fine, and I haven't had any bad things because of it. Silver Creek says, I was just thinking as a supplement, if there's no other option, I use pool filter sand in my aquariums along with black diamond blasting sand, but stick with the sand that's in our yard for the quail. Yeah. Do you sanitize the stuff in your yard? I know coccidiosis is a soil-borne thing, and there's a couple other things that are soil-borne. And if it has potential to be in your soil, it could have potential to be with your quail if you're using that. So people do, I think people like pour boiling water over it or something. You're going to have to look that up on how people do that, because I haven't done that. But I know enough to think through that and go, oh, maybe it needs to happen. If they've been fine, they've been fine. And JJ says, I just need to go raid a sandbox or a beach. There's JJ in the middle of the night in the middle of the playground. Just bring your quail to the playground. It solves the whole problem, right? Funny. And Steve says, I've used that a time or two with no issues. Okay. So Rick says, we have a lot of clay here. I do too. A 1/4 inch below the grass is clay for about 6 to 8 feet. So I just scrape it up in dry areas. Okay. Bob says, my 3-week-old kids are finally feathered except on their spine. Still in brooder. Yeah, probably underneath their wings too. That's kind of the last place to go. Yeah, so the babies in the aviary, they're doing really well. And man, they feather out quickly. They feather out so quickly. So they're actually starting to get real feathers on the wings, and they're super fast. Now, you guys think quail are fast in your brooders. Quail in aviaries, man, I think they're like twice as fast. They have to outrun all the adults. Yeah, they're really fast. Yeah. Dawn says, Katrina, the roo was 5 months old. Shoot, I gave Andy Rabbit about 10 roos when she was here. I have enough roos. Oh boy. Well, 5 months old should be still good, but I guess maybe he was a dud from the beginning. When you processed him, did he have ample parts? Yeah, interesting. Silver Creek says, my wife deaded a rooster once. Little bugger hooked her leg like 3 or 4 times, really deep. He didn't live another 2 minutes. Really? Like went after her. That's interesting. Yeah, that's something that's one you don't want to keep for sure. Linda says, thank you, Higidros. Oh, okay. Steve says the join button is next to the subscribe button on this live. Thank you, Steve. I know I always want to check, and I'm like, I don't see the same thing you guys see. Don says, Katrina, this rooster shot blanks. Then he scalped 2 hens, so I cut. Yep. That's what you need to do. Silver Creek says 2 months later, she got bit by a rat snake that she swears I threw on her. I kind of did. Oh my gosh, horrible person. It wasn't on purpose though. She ran in the wrong way. Oh my gosh. Time to take a break from that, huh? Bob says, Silver Creek, I have a Catahoula Aussie mix. 75 doesn't let anything. I don't know what 75 is. Oh, 75 pounds. Doesn't let anything hurt in your yard. That is good. That is good. And oh, someone just became a member. I don't know who. I gotta look. Hopefully it'll go down. Hopefully you'll see it when it goes down. Yay! Whoever became a member. Yay! Andy Rabbit says, LOL, Don, that just too funny. Silver Creek says, heck yes, Bob. I have 2 Catahoula mixes. They are amazing and human level intelligence. That's awesome. They're originally bred for hunting. Is that right? Are they bird dogs? Don says to Andy Rabbit, it is, but is the truth. I also yelled at him as I was snipping. Yep. Hey, Bill Thompson's here. Good evening from Pennsylvania. Welcome, Bill. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and put it in the chat, and we'll talk. Steve is saying, shame, Silver. Yeah. Look before you throw, especially if it's a snake. Hey, Ed's here. Guess my message 820 got deleted. Number 2, as soon as. Yep. No, we read it. You were number 1. We saw it. It might not be up there anymore for some reason, but it was there. And we said hi, and we'll say hi again, Ed. Are you back? Are you still waiting? Welcome. Silver Creek's laughing at Steve. In my defense, I did warn her, and she saw me yanking it still from underneath the quail coop. She ran directly towards me where I threw it and slipped on it mid-run. I had to pull the teeth out of her leg. Ooh, I have had to pull things out of a hand before. That was fun. So I have a story about that. So I'm a wildlife biologist by trade, and I have lots of field stories. And one of my coworkers and I were on the site, and he was going up the hill over here. I was going up the hill over here. He was above the hill, and I was like, we were kind of doing a survey. We're going around a big patch of stuff, and anyway, he stepped on a hornet's nest, and they flew up and were like, blah, and stinging him and stuff. So he ran down the hill straight at me. And he ran down the hill straight at me, realized what he was doing, bringing them to me. I went this way, he went that way. He got stung several times. But by the time he got down to me, I had Benadryl in my hand, and I was like, here. Because I carry Benadryl in the field with me, which is a very good thing to do. Actually good to make sure it's up to date too. It does last after the expiration date, but it's always good to have, in-date Benadryl. So he's fine. He was cursing the boss, but it was pretty fun. I mean, it wasn't fun. It was funny, let's say, after the fact. Erica, yes, I did see it. Erica says, at least it was just a rat snake, Silver. Yes, that's true. That's true. For sure, he says. Silver Creek says, she'll never let me live it down, though. Of course not. Why should she? Steve says, note to self, run from Silver with the snake. Oh, boy. Folster Farm says, yay, that's very cool to have a cook-along. Yes, it absolutely is. I think it was... I think it's a good idea. I think there's some different things that we can do with it. And especially if I believe this is how it works, is that members, if they can't attend, then they get to see the video, but it's only for members. I'm not going to like do a member thing and then open it up and have a video later. It's going to be just for members. So it's going to be like a special time and special get together. I might get ideas for other videos during that time, but yeah, it'd be fun. It's gonna be fun. Silver Creek's laughing at Steve, and it says, I've learned how to deal with them now, and so has she. We have a really good wildlife refuge friend that gave us a crash course on snake handling. Yay, good friends. Yes, Silver Creek, it is important to know how to handle snakes. And my secret weapon is, if you have like your outer shirt, you're in Texas, you probably have sun shirts that you wear all the time, right? You have that shirt, use that, throw it over the snake, and then you can handle things better. And you can handle things with a stick better. If you have a rattlesnake, make sure you have a stick, unless you actually know what you're doing. But definitely I've moved rattlesnake that way, where I throw my shirt over it. And I asked, well, this has happened a few times on construction sites where I'm monitoring for special status species, and all the guys start running and they're like, what's going on? There's a snake. Okay, I'll deal with it. So take the outer shirt off, put over the snake, and ask the guys for a shovel handle or a broom handle or something, and get it underneath, move it off the site, wait till it goes away, and then take my shirt back. So always wear 2 shirts. That has happened, I don't know, probably 3 times. And it's just so funny with rattles, like with any snake it happens, the guys run. But anyway, it's funny. It's just extra funny because a lot of times when you're on construction sites, there's like manly men, and then they see a snake and they are no longer manly men. Yes, always be safe with snakes of any kind, and especially with rattlesnakes and other poisonous snakes. The rattlesnakes are the only ones we have here, though. Andy says that's funny, but not funny. Silver Creek. Yeah, I agree. He says, I know, Andy, but heck, I got no secrets, and it still makes us both laugh. That is what's important. That's important. We're laughing here. She has a good thing. She has humidity? Humility? I don't know. Oh, humility. Oh, you guys jumped. You guys jumped. I gotta find you. Hang on, hang on. You guys are talkative tonight. I'm okay with this. Oh, humor. I was like, I know it's not humidity. I mean, if they have humidity, I don't know, they're in Texas. You guys don't have humidity where you are, right? It's more dry. All right. Silver Creek says, I'm just here learning this life thing as I go. We all are, right? We all are. The autocorrect is funny. Yeah. Berna says, my chicks sound so funny. I got a couple of reasons learning to crow. It is so funny when they're trying and they're first trying and they're like, and then their very first time, you can tell it's their first time. I've been in the room when it's their first time crowing or trying to, and they, like, everybody ducks, including the one that made the sound. I'm like, you do know that came out of you, right? Yeah, it's pretty funny. Yeah. All right, gotta find where I was. Steve says, I have 3 cats sitting outside the shed door trying to figure out what all that chirping noise is. Yeah, I bet. Dawn says, LOL, sometimes my roos sound like frogs when starting. It's hilarious, the sounds that they come up with when they're starting. I am a bit behind. I'm still a bit behind, Andy. Silver Creek says, congrats on memberships. I still have some hours to build before I get my monetization, but I'm close. You're doing pretty well. I see your videos all the time. You're doing good. Yeah, it's been an option for a while now. I just haven't had time to really think and plan and actually do, which is not the doing that didn't take that long. It was I want to make sure I can give people what I'm promising part. And the last few months have just been busy, and I need time to plan kind of what I'm doing. So I finally got through that. Thank you. Brenna says, they are getting it out okay, Dawn, LOL, but they remind me of when the redhead on the Partridge Family was having his voice change. Oh boy. Andy Rabbit says, my Mysore babies are doing good. They are growing out nicely. That is awesome. Verna says, sand is a 12 by 12 by 4 inch box. Is that the link that you put? That's what that's for? Or that's what you do. That might be what you do. Okay. Yeah, I mean, sandboxes can be as big or as little as you want. The thing I would warn you about having one that's too small is that's the only time. I have aviary setting. I'm going to preface it with that. It's different than the cage setting, so you might have different behaviors. But with the aviary setting, for all the ones that I've had, the only time I've seen, well, not the only time, when they have babies, guess what? She's chasing things away, and yeah, she did peck someone. But really the only consistent time that I have seen a little bit of aggression, and it's not even like aggression, it's just like, this is my spot in the sandbox, you may not have it, is in the sandbox. So I've seen when they're digging the wood chips and they like do their little hole, and it's their hole, and then somebody else comes over and it's like, that's my hole now, and they're like, fine, I'll leave. That doesn't happen in the sandbox. If somebody is doing their thing in the sandbox and somebody else comes up to them, usually they'll be like, no, get out of here. This is my sand. So that's why I have 2 entrances on my sandbox for them, which I do have a covered one, so that makes a difference. If you have an open box, you're not going to have that issue. But that is something that I have, and it just makes it a little better, and it's a little bigger. Like the sandbox is like, I don't know, that square. But if you have too small, they might not let the other ones in. Yeah, I guess this information you can use or not use. Silver says, speaking of buying supplements on Amazon, I found a very good acidifier for your garden soil if you are too basic. It's a humic acid granule, and a little goes a heck a long way. Called Humic, HU-MIC. Okay. That's good to know. I actually have never tested my soil. I know what my soil is. It's clay. It's mostly clay and something else. But it has a high clay content, which means that it's good and bad. It means that it can hold a lot of nutrients, but then it also can hold a lot of water. So it's interesting. So I do have raised beds, and the raised beds I amend with all sorts of different things, but it's mostly compost now. And I feel my garden beds really, I've made garden beds on my property in different years, and it seems to me that between years 3 and 5 is really when those garden beds are like, this is the awesome soil, right? About 3 years in, you start saying, okay, this is the soil that is good, that is nice, that is rich. All we have to do is top dress from there, and it's a really good soil. And then, about 3 to 5 years, it's just improving. And then at about that point, as long as you keep on top dressing, it pretty much stays the same. So between 3 and 5 years is when I would expect to see your garden beds really start to boom and put out a lot and go like, oh, this is a really good spot. So I haven't actually done soil testing because most of my gardening is in raised beds. I do have some in ground, but most of it's in raised beds, and they have hit that mark of just being really consistent. But definitely, if you're testing your soil, or you are having signs that is the case, that it's basic, then it's a good thing to know. Thank you. Bob Ross. I had to. Oh, someone else. Remember, I'm hoping. I think that might be JJ. I see a J. I couldn't see the other thing, so I'm hoping it will show me in the chat, and I can say thank you, and congratulations on becoming a member. All right. What is AFK? It's away from keyboard. Verna is the queen of acronyms. I've learned so many from her. If she says something and it's like, bleh, I'm like, that's probably an acronym. Let's figure it out. Yeah. Andy Rabbit says, the lady I bought the egg trays from today was a breeder that went out of business. She gave me some good info about hatching in our zone. It was nice to visit. It was nice visit an info trip. That is awesome. That's always, well, I mean, I don't know that's awesome if she went out of business, but it's awesome that you get to benefit from that. Back stands for back at keyboard. I just thought it was just back without a C. See, I'm still learning. I'm still learning from you, Verna. And she says, that is always wonderful, Andy. Yep. Steve says, filter sand is silica sand and not recommended. Okay. There's your answer. So silica is a glass, basically. It acts like glass. So it would likely act the same as DE in the lungs of a bird. Steve, did I get that right? I think that's the why behind why silica sand is not recommended. Buster says, Andy, you will love the pheasant trays for jumbo Coturnix. That's awesome. That's awesome. PJ says, well, I figured out back. You dropped the C. That's what I thought. That's why I didn't know it actually stood for something. Oh boy. Rita says silica sand, also known as quartz sand, white sand, or industrial sand, is made up of two main elements, silica and oxygen. Specifically, silica sand is made up of silicon dioxide. Okay. Andy Rabbit says she did a lot, almost the way I do hatches. Okay. She runs out of electricity a lot? I'm playing with you, Andy. I'm playing. you need to write a book on how to hatch electricity free because you've been so successful at all of these hatches that have had electrical power outages. You know I'm teasing you, right? In good spirit. Verna says the most common form of silicon dioxide is quartz, a chemically inert and relatively hard mineral. Okay, good to know. Andy says, Buster, that the reason I grabbed the pheasant trays. Yeah. And Silver Creek Aquatic says UV to sanitize sand. Oh, boiling water. Okay, I'll check it out. And no, never done that, but I'm all about redundancy to keep them safe. Yeah, I am not a good source for that because I don't do that, but I just know enough to know that it should be done. Or doing it could be helpful. So I would look up how to do that. And I know people have done boiling water. I know people have microwaved soil. I know people have baked soil. I think it depends on what you need to get out of it. So like a lot of the sanitizing soil information that I have comes from seed starting people, people who start seeds. I've never done that and it's been fine, but you know, maybe some of the plants that didn't come up is because something happened. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, you look that up and then share with us what you find. Steve says, don't get sand from a public beach at the shore. I found out it was illegal. Don't ask how. I had to put it back. Oh, boy. Hey, new member. I have to see who that is. I will hopefully see who that is. Welcome, new member. The other one had a J. That's what I think is JJ. All right. Folster Farms is laughing. Playground raiding with quail. Yeah, maybe I should take that back. It's probably illegal, but maybe bringing them. I don't know that you want to introduce quail and quail poop into the public playground. Don't do that. I take it back. Ed, welcome. Okay, I'm here. Hi, everyone. Hi, Ed. Oh, boy. Silver Creek says, yep, Steve, it's living sand. Andy says, oh, Steve, you can't get caught, you know. Oh, Buster's laughing at Steve. Everybody saying had Ed. PJ says, Ed, why do you keep Wendy away from us? We love her too. Yeah, Wendy's awesome. I got to spend time with Wendy and Ed after QuailCon. We did a game night that was a lot longer than we had planned. It was a lot of fun. If you guys didn't see the live, we interrupted our game night to go live. You guys can look that up on my channel. It's the only live that doesn't have the regular, live thing. So that's good. Yeah. Silver Creek says, also, if there is a problem in the lake or stream, it can live in the sand if it's moist underneath. That is true. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Hey, Eric's here. Thank you for the super sticker. Welcome, Eric. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing really well. Verna, I'm so behind. Your comment doesn't even make sense anymore, especially after everything we've said. She's asking about the bird's parts, about Dawn's bird's parts. I'm not going to say it because it doesn't make sense right now. But yeah, that was my question. Ed says, yes, Steve, you can't steal sand from a public beach. Yep. Everybody saying had Eric. Silver Creek says also certain types of invasive snails can live underneath the sand where it is moist, and a lot of places don't want those invasive snails moving around onto other bodies of water. We had, where was that? I just read about invasive, I think it was invasive snail. There's an invasive mussel that recently was out here, and then an invasive snail is in Tahoe now, Lake Tahoe. And like it's basically one of those things, they found it and it's like not even there's no way to get rid of it at this point. It's not like one or two that they found, it's a whole bunch they found, so that's unfortunate. But that is very true. Invasive species, something to be wary of. Buster says, Steve, you're supposed to have a beach bag. Oh, Steve, you're funny. JJ says, sorry, police officer. Oh, sorry, police officer. Me and my quail just wanted to take a bath. Yeah, I think that would be a fun shirt. If Kelly's on here, she could do that shirt. I haven't seen Kelly yet, but maybe she's on. Steve says, thanks, Ed. Nice to know. Nice to know now, after the fact, right? Eric, another super sticker. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, and Foster Farms is laughing away. Eric says hello. You say hello so late. Hello, Eric. Welcome. And PJ. PJ was the first Garden Nibbler. Welcome to the group, PJ. She's now she's the first of Katrina's kits. You can claim that forevermore now. Welcome. Eric says hi. Everybody saying hi. And PJ turned green because she's one of Katrina's kits now. Your name is in green. I don't know if everybody else sees it, but it is for me. Me. I don't know why you said me. Oh, it was you. I got that. It does show up for me. I didn't know if it would. Welcome. I'm excited. Silver Creek says, hey, PJ, thank you for becoming a member. Awesome. I agree. Ed says, PJ, she's not into quail. Wendy? Yeah. And Monday through Wednesday, she works at least a 13-hour day. So I only get a few hours with her before she goes to bed, and we watch what she wants. That is a good tip. And Ed, I will talk to you later about this, but the thing that we were talking about jokingly, I kind of think we should do, and Wendy should be involved, but we'll talk about it later. I don't even remember. I don't know if you even remember what it is, but hopefully you do with the clue. We'll talk about it later. Eric saying hello to everybody. And Silver says, Catahoula's were originally bred as hunting dogs in the swamps. There are many old stories about Catahoulas walking on water to get their catch. They're amazing animals. Awesome. Am I saying it right? Catahoula? I think that's how I've heard it. PJ says, you are too sweet, Ed, but should sometimes share her with us. She was on the live. She was on my live right after QuailCon when we did our unexpectedly unplanned live. She was on that. We shared her. Ed says, Steve, you didn't ask first next time. Ask first. Yeah, get a permit for that. Too sweet, JJ says about Ed. Eric says, just drive home from church as usual. Awesome. We're talking about all sorts of stuff, and I'm going to interrupt because it's already 7:13 and talk about the topic of the day, which is not that we have a membership thing now, but that is a very good topic now to do a membership with Cook With Me videos, and it's going to be live interaction with members, and it's going to be awesome. So my topic of the day is saffron. Did everybody watch the saffron video? It was a little discombobulated. You see my style of making the videos has a little bit changed. I've gotten a little bit more efficient in the later parts. But basically I started that almost a year ago, and it takes you through a year of saffron. I'm I mean, I'm exaggerating a little bit. The other part is just, hey, this is green. Hey, this is brown. But if you guys want saffron, I would plant that now. And it used to be that you could only get it online. Now there are several nurseries that have it. It's a crocus. It's not all crocuses. It is a type of crocus, and it's really easy. And you guys should watch that video if you haven't and see how to plant it. And it's awesome. It's a really, really, really easy thing to grow, and it is the most expensive spice. Well, that and a vanilla. I don't know which is, they kind of do this, right? And so I encourage you guys all to grow it. So we can talk about that or not, but I wanted that to be kind of a little conversation starter. I know we've talked about it in the past, but that was before I had that video out. You guys might have specific questions or comments or whatever. So I wanted to give that opportunity while it was fresh in people's heads. And if it's not fresh in your head because you didn't watch it, you get to watch it now. All right. Did I read this? Eric just arrived home from church as usual. I think I read that. But welcome home and welcome to the live. Silver Creek says, I can send my biggest Catahoula into my quail aviary with no issues. In fact, I trained him and raised him around them. If one gets out somehow, he will go and pick it up with his mouth and bring them back to us without a scratch. Just a little slobber. Is that the one that I saw a video of in your aviary? That was pretty cool. Oh, yeah. The next comment. I should have kept reading. I have a video of him doing it about a year ago on my channel. Awesome. JJ says to Ed, my hubby owns the remote, or AKA Idiot Box, the remote, not the hubby. And JJ, I didn't even know until afterwards that your husband was there. I should have said hi at QuailCon. Yeah. Silver Creek says, yay, wildlife biology. Maybe going to our nature center this Sunday to do some falconry work with a really good friend of mine. There are some red tails that may be migrating down with the cool front. Okay. I have no idea what hawks you have in your area. I know there's tons of different kinds of hawks, but red tails are cool. Eric has good news. I'm walking with my quad walker now. No wheelchair soon. Eric, that is such good news. That is such good news. For those that don't know, Eric is recovering from a stroke and has been wheelchair bound for a while. And that is awesome. I'm proud of you. Good job. Yeah, I'm hoping that you continue to progress and things continue to get better. That's exciting. That's exciting. Silver Creek says this weekend. Oh, that you're doing that this weekend, and he needs to trap at least one of them so they can do testing. What are they testing for? And JJ's laughing at something. I don't know what. Oh, red hawks, I meant. Okay. We have red-tailed hawks here. Yeah, and Verna saying congratulations to Eric, and Andy Rabbit saying that's good, Eric. That is awesome. Yeah, everybody's saying that. JJ says, yeah, to Eric. And like, good news, Eric, from Erica. I mean, you have your community support here, Eric. Absolutely. Absolutely. Erica says, my dog catches birds and holds them down with her paw and waits for me to get them. That's good. That's good. Silver Creek says, it's a giant nature refuge, Fort Worth Nature Center. Okay. Lucy goes after moles, always has, always will. Yep. I've seen her video. I've seen your video of her doing that. Yeah. Yeah. And JJ saying cool about the dog for Erica. Andy Rabbit says, my cat will jump on a quail for me if one gets out till I can get it. That is so awesome. You guys have such well-trained animals. I don't have a dog. I have neighbors' dogs. I have friends' dogs that I watch. I would like a dog at some point. I don't have one currently. Silver says, oh, Verna, we get moles here too. Our corgi is a master at finding them. Well, that's kind of what they were bred for, is tunnel stuff, right? I don't know about corgi. I'm thinking of something. I'm thinking of like miniature schnauzer, right? I don't know. And Verna says Lucy herds loose quail to me. Awesome. Now, of the people who have had this happen with their animals, how many actually train them to do that, and how many actually that's just what the animal does? I would like to know that. Dawn says to Eric, that is wonderful news. Absolutely. And you guys jumped. Hang on. I gotta go up. Eric says a slice of pie in Jamaica is $2. A slice of pie in Barbados is $2.50. A slice of pie in Trinidad and Tobago is $5. These are the pirates of the Caribbean. Oh, Eric, you are funny. I thought you were going somewhere else with that. Oh boy. Ed says, LOL, JJ, I normally do too, but we both like anime, and that's what she wants to watch. I have a hard time watching anime without her because if I start watching something and I think she will like it. Yeah. Wait for her. Don't get ahead on those series, right? Silver Creek says, for sure. On average, a rattlesnake can jump 4 to 6 feet. You definitely need a distance advantage with them. Yes. Well, I've heard they strike half their body distance. I give them space. I used to be with someone that would catch them, and it was always not good. This was the same person that I had to pull a tooth out of, not a rattlesnake, but something else that bit him. And I would not recommend picking up rattlesnakes unless you know what you're doing. And even then, I would use tongs. I know I have friends that are very safe and pick up rattlesnakes, but you just never know what will happen. I have to stop, Ed says. I don't know what this means, but hopefully you'll be back. Don is laughing. Hubby turns into a girl when he sees any snake. Yeah, it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. JJ says my dog drools and points at loose quail. She hasn't eaten one yet. She's smart enough to do that, huh? Silver Creek says, "Ooh, have you seen the white sides rattlesnakes? They are extremely rare, and as far as I know, only 2 of them have been recorded in nature. And my wildlife buddy has one of them. It is stunning. I have not. The rattlesnakes we have here have a green tint to them in some places, and it looks really interesting. It's kind of like almost a school bus seat green. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like that slightly off olive color and then they have the pattern. So yeah, that's an interesting thing. Yeah. Eric says, where do horses live? In neighborhoods. Hey, Fulster Farms is a Growing Wiser member. She is a member. She's one of Katrina's kits, and you are the first Growing Wiser member. First and forever. All right. That's awesome. Thank you for joining Fulster Farms, Mandy. Thank you for joining. JJ says jumping rattlesnakes. I don't know about jumping, but yeah, they strike. So they're all coiled, and they can strike from there very far. Yeah. Andy says, I wonder how rattlesnake jerky would taste. I have heard rattlesnakes taste like chicken, but everything tastes like chicken. So I always tell people everything tastes like rattlesnake. Brenda says, I only need 1,003 watch hours. Yeah, so I'm the watch hours are not as high as they need to be, and I don't have enough members for the full monetization. But right now, I can do memberships, and Eric has been doing super stickers. It's awesome, and yeah, that'll happen eventually. It'll happen with you. It'll happen with me, eventually. That's good. Eric says people who can't tell the difference between whole numbers and decimals are missing the point. Oh boy. Eric says tastes like chicken. Yep. That's what I've heard. I've never had snake. Yeah. Verna says sand that comes from Amazon is in 12 by 12 by 4 inch box that weighs 25 pounds. Okay. That makes sense. Andy chicken? I don't know what you're saying. Ed says, Verna, you will get there. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. And Verna says, yep, not in any hurry. Exactly. Yeah, keep doing what you're doing and people enjoy the content, then you'll get there. I can always make more videos, LOL. That is in part my problem. Yeah, make more videos. And Verna, you have a lot of herbal knowledge too. I think you could make a lot of herbal videos that would be very interesting to people. Ed's laughing. Silver Creek says, JJ, well, striking and jumping, I would consider it a jump, but others would consider it just a very far striking range. But if you ever see it in person, it's a freaking jump. Yep. Yeah, they just don't go near them. Eric says 71% of the earth is water. It is also not carbonated. Therefore, the earth is flat. I've heard this before. Oh, people are laughing it up. Andy Rabbit says, well, Eric, what's the point of trying it then if it's just another chicken? Yeah, so snakes play a very important role in the environment. I mean, they eat all the critters, right? They eat the mice and the rats and the voles and the this and the that, all of the little rodents. And they also can eat eggs, but they take care of a lot of what people call the pests, the vermin or whatever. And they take care of a lot of that. And without snakes, without spiders, we might have other issues on our hands that we don't really want to deal with, right? Yeah. And JJ's a member of Katrina's Kits. She is a garden nibbler. Welcome, JJ. Welcome. Thank you for joining. I'm excited about this. I'm excited. Bob says, I have a neighbor that is a shed hunter for elk antlers. He got bit twice on the leg 3 days ago. And it was a 4-foot rattlesnake with only a single button. Thinks it may be hybridized. So we're talking about a single button on the end. So the rattle, not all rattlesnakes rattle. The ones that do in certain areas, the ones that rattle get killed by people. So the ones that don't rattle, if you're in a populated area, you likely have more snakes that don't rattle. I'm making a generalization here. This is not to be like word for word quoted or anything, but the likelihood that you have ones that don't rattle is somewhat, I think, higher. Again, personal opinion, not fact. But what those buttons are, so we're talking about the rattlesnake's tail, the rattle part, the part that they shake. What that is it is sheds from previous years. So they shed from the mouth and the head back along the body, and then the very end of the shed gets like folded over there. And that's when that's how it forms. So that rattle can break off. So if it has broken off, it might just have one button on there. So that might, it might be I wouldn't really call it injury, like it probably didn't hurt, but it may be that part just got broken off and didn't just have that one and only one. So that makes sense. Let me know if that doesn't make sense. Let me know. Yeah. All right. Fulster Farms says, gotta hit the hay, guys. Long day tomorrow. Great live, Katrina. Good night, everyone. Good night, Fulster Farms. And give me a call when you can, and we will see you later. Everybody saying goodnight. And PJ says, Fulster, I'm picking up hay tomorrow. Thought you were going to hit the hay, guys. JJ says, Silver Creek, I'm fine with living my life without seeing a jumping rattlesnake in real life. I'm fine with that too. Yeah. Andy Rabbit says, okay, Katrina, she said she had bad luck if her electric went out. So the same. No, not the same. She had bad luck and you had good luck. So you're going to do better than her. That's what I see in that. Silver Creek says, me too, JJ. I'll join that club. Steve says, when I see a rattlesnake, it costs me about $9 in bullets. Oh, meant not okay. Andrew said, yeah. Hey, Erica is a garden nibbler. Welcome to Katrina's Kits, Erica. I'm happy you're on here. It's going to be so much fun to do these Cook With Me lives. I'm really excited. Thank you for joining. And yeah, we'll be seeing you. Silver Creek says, snakes are a traumatizing subject for me. I had a really good friend of mine in my early 20s that was a keeper of a dozen of types of venomous snakes and a 16-foot anaconda named Fluffy. Fluffy liked to get into my bed and size me up laying next to me. I've been told he wasn't sizing me up, but that's an anaconda, not a boa. Wow. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, hopefully it wasn't sizing you up. JJ says, do I have to wear this silly star? I think there's a setting. If people don't like it, I can turn it off, but I think it's either on or off for everyone. Let me know if people like it or don't like it, and I can turn it off or turn it on. I think I can do that. Wear it proudly, Steve says. Yep. So what the star does is the longer you're a member, the color changes, and then people will know that you've been there a long time. I don't know if that has value for people or not, but you guys can let me know if that's, as a group, good or not. Yeah. Verna says it tells Katrina what level you are. It doesn't tell me what level it is. It's how long you've been a member. So like everybody's blue right now because it's day 1, right? Yeah. But it tells everybody else, hey, JJ's special. And so is PJ, and so is Erica, and so is Fulster Farm. Yeah. And PJ says, yes, JJ, welcome to the club. Okay, I guess the star stays, she says. Oh, good. Ed says, that was great live. Good. Erica says, the black dog is me. Oh, that's you. Yeah, see, it's so tiny. But you welcome. Silver Creek says, it only takes one time to wake up with an anaconda in your bed that's bigger around than your thigh to be traumatized. I can imagine that. Yeah, I can imagine that. And JJ says, yikes. Steve says, if I woke up and found an anaconda in my bed, that would have been the last time I woke up. Wow. JJ says, I mostly only have had snake encounters with non-venomous snakes or copperheads. And Silver Creek says that they have invasive mussels there. Yeah, so I used to have 2 pet snakes. My ex took them with him, and that's fine. But they were Texas bearded rat snakes, and they were really, really wonderful pets. A lot of people don't really think of snakes as pets, but they do have their own personalities. You can identify which was which from across the room. They're sisters. They shared a terrarium. And they had really good personalities. And I've caught wild snakes that were very, they were just sweethearts and loved. They were fine with being handled and all that. And I've moved snakes that were completely fine with being handled, and I've moved snakes that are not completely fine with being handled. In fact, racers, I had a yellow-bellied racer that like chased me. they periscope up in the grass, they see you, and then they go down and they go, and they're super fast, and they're like, I'm gonna get you. Yeah, I trapped it in a small mammal trap though. It went in when the container was warm, and they opened it at night to do small mammal trapping, live traps, and it went in because it was warm. And yeah, I caught a rattlesnake that way. I caught every single snake that could be at that location except for a rubber boa, which I saw when I was in that area. So yeah, if you have a trap and the weight's over here and you go like this and the weight's still up here, it's a snake. Don't open it. Don't open it at your face. Yeah. The rattlesnake one, I saw. I peeked in. I looked with a bag over it, and I looked. Like, okay, that's gonna face that way, and I'm gonna open it, and there you go. Left on its own terms. I one time was turtle trapping for a research project in Iowa, and there was a, what was it? Was it a copperhead? Are there copperheads in Iowa? Or cottonmouth? It was something poisonous in the water, and it was actually stuck in the trap, because for the turtle trap had like inch wide, the netting over it was like an inch wide, and it had gone in there, eaten the chicken gizzards that were the bait, and was trying to get back out, but his tummy was too full. So we had to bring it in and open the trap and pull out the back. But yeah, I didn't do the handling then. But yeah, it was a glutton. Steve says, I would have. Silver Creek says zebra mussels. I think it is. I can't remember, but that's what comes to mind. That's what's in the Mississippi River. I remember that being a really big issue in Mississippi River. I think it's even out here in California. I think that's the one that is in our reservoirs now. It super cleans the water column to the point that other native mussels can't live, and plus they live on top of the native mussels, and they clamp them shut basically because it's so much weight. There's like 3 and 4 feet of zebra mussel shells in places. Yeah, zebra mussels are not good, and they're not big either. Or native mussels and clams, I think. Ed says that would be the last time the anaconda would be in anyone's bed. Oh boy. Snakes anyway. Oh, that's right. PJ, I knew that. Kelly is at Disneyland. And I hope she has fun, because that's good. Yeah, she's close to me. Not close enough to come by, though. I think she went to California. Kelly is in California, and she will be missing for several days. She's at Cinderella's castle. Steve says, yeah, that's good. It's good she got to take her kids out there. Yep, hope they make it out alive. Oh, geez, Ed. Yep. Silver Creek says, I was trying to find you on Facebook so I can send you a picture of this white-sided rattlesnake. It's the most gorgeous rattlesnake you'll ever see in your life. Go ahead and try Katrina, Sow and Tare. And we have a Facebook group. If you have not joined it, I recommend it. I will get the link right now. It's the Friends of Sow and Tare Facebook group. And you can join that, and if you'd like to, you can put that on there so everybody can see, and you can say this was something we talked about. I like to have, the Facebook group is basically a companion to the live, is kind of how I think of it. Other stuff too, but I post the videos there, and then also it's usually most active tonight through tomorrow is usually when there's most activity, when people are thinking about the things that we talked about, and I have this thing I want to share, and that's totally the right place to share it. That if we have pictures of things that we're trying to describe, or here's that source that I was telling this other person about, that's a good place to do that. and answer the questions and accept the rules, and we'll let you in. Yeah, but I'm on as Katrina Sow and Tare is my stuff for this. Yeah. Silver Creek says I'm Tommy with a dirty Guy Fawkes. I don't know who that is. On Facebook, the banner says Silver Creek Hawks. All right. Britta says, "Yep, I will get mine soon." Katrina ordered 10 more. Get your what soon? It's been a while. I'm so behind. Hopefully something good. Silver Creek says, "Yay! Saffron! You ordered saffron. See, I just had to keep reading. That is awesome." Silver Creek says, "Yay, saffron! Great for the brain and the subduer of dementia." Okay. I did not know it was a good for the brain thing. There, we learned something good, new. Awesome. And Buddhist monks use saffron to dye their robes. That's why their robes are that orangish color. Yeah, apparently there's like saffron that is not saffron that people buy online, and it's like fake dyed junk. And it's yeah, I don't know. I've heard of people buying saffron and it wasn't saffron. It's like, no, it does actually dye things colors. If it doesn't dye things colors, it's not saffron. Yeah. I gotta scroll up here, guys. And I'm scrolling up and it looks like Verna caught someone. Good job, Verna. Thank you. I'm so behind, guys. I have no idea where we are. Okay, here we are. Ed says, "Katrina, have not forgotten. Wife and I talked about it all the way home from Ohio to Virginia. We have been planning it out." Me too. We'll see when we come up with a plan. We'll have to get together and do it. Silver Creek Aquatic says, "I'm not exactly sure what they're testing for on the red-tail hawk. He just hit me up and asked if I wanted to join him. And of course, it's nature. I'm always down." Yeah, I'd be interested to know what they're testing for. If they're like, if it exhibited some signs of something that they want to catch it and test for it, or if they're just testing random hawks that come through the area, because that happens sometimes. And Ed says to Eric, "That's awesome, Eric. Awesome. Verna says, "Tommy, perhaps AI. Yeah, perhaps they're testing for avian influenza. Maybe. Yeah, it is starting to become migratory bird season. I said that weird. That's okay. Migration season. So maybe. Silver Creek says it may just be for tracking their migration. Yeah, I mean they may be fitting it with a telemeter too. So, or tracker. You know that might be something they're doing. I mean, we have a hawk here called the Swainson's hawk, and half the population goes to Mexico. I don't know, half. Part of the population goes to Mexico in the winter, and part of the population goes to Argentina in the winter. Tell me which one, goes a little further. In Argentina, it's called the grasshopper hawk because it eats grasshoppers, and when people are using DDT, that is a bad thing. They would find the winter roosts of the Swainson's hawks by following the dead hawks that were falling out of the sky, because all the DDT that was used for the grasshoppers bioaccumulates, which means moves from the prey to the predator and stays there until that body dies, and then if something eats that, then it goes to the next one until they die. So they were called grasshopper hawks because they ate grasshoppers there. But anyway, so that's just an example of a giant migration a hawk will make. Maybe more than you wanted to know. Britta says it is the relationship you have with the dog and what it does to try and please you. Yeah, so it would know that that's, like Lucy knows, oh, Mom wants this. She likes these birds. I should probably not eat them. Yeah. Silver Creek says, you're correct. Corgis are excellent burrowers and tunnel diggers. Okay, I was right. They almost can't help but follow their instinct on digging. Yep. And Silver Creek is agreeing with Verna about the dogs. JJ says, my dog, a sable German Shepherd, is naturally a herding dog. I only trained her not to eat the quail. Okay. Yeah, so she just does the rest by herself. Silver Creek says, our big Catahoula has accidentally killed one quail. This dog was depressed for 2 weeks after that. Wouldn't even go outside except to use the bathroom and just laid in the corner of the house. Oh, poor one. Poor doggy. Yeah. Eric says, I like Annie too. I use the staff at anime. I use the staff at the Anime Expo in Los Angeles. All right. Oh, you used two staff. That makes more sense. Well, there you go. You and Ed should talk. Hey, Joy's here. Hello, Joy. She says, hello, all, with a big smile. Welcome. I think the only thing, the big that you missed is, well, the babies are still doing good in the aviary. There's still 5 babies, and they are feathering out quite nicely. And I started memberships. So there's a little join button down at the bottom. And if you would like to, you can join. And what I'm offering is there's 3 separate tiers. Those are just different pricings for people to support me at different levels. Right now, there's only one thing that's everybody gets the same thing. And that is a Cook With Me live. And I'll be sending out ingredient lists ahead of the live. I don't know exactly when the lives are going to be. I'm going to try and find something, I think on the weekend, something in the middle of the day, right? So you have enough time to kind of make something. But yeah, and it'll be cooking live with the crew, with Katrina's kits, I'm calling it. So those are the big news items that you missed. Andy Rabbit says, I had a mouse that tried getting out of a quail cage. The cage is made for half-inch wire. It is hanging half out of the cage. Hubby said it must have gotten in and ate. It got too full and fat. It got in a 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch. Was there like a hole somewhere? Because a mouse, that's got to be a small mouse. Yeah, I got to wait to process that to escape. Andy Rabbit says to get the rest of its body out. Oh, it was too fat to get the rest of its body out. Anyways, you found it dead. Just moved the quail out last week. Okay. Yeah, that seems like an awfully small hole that it would get into. Myrna says, I knew what you meant, Tommy. And hello, Joy. And JJ saying, oh, Silver Creek, that's so heartbreaking with Puppy. Yeah. And Erica says, I agree, Verna. I didn't train her. She's just always done it. That is awesome. That is so awesome. You guys have good dogs. Silver Creek says he was legit depressed. Wouldn't hardly eat. Was so full of shame. It was crazy to see. We love him so much. His name is Heidzer. Wow. Well, I mean, he knows what he's supposed to do and what he's not supposed to do. And like you said, he loves those birds. So he probably didn't mean to do it. And yeah. Hopefully he's feeling better now because that's been a while, right? He's probably extra careful now, right? When he went back in there, was he extra careful? Yeah. Andy says, I didn't train my cat to not eat my quail. They just don't. Maybe they just know they are mine. Yeah. That's interesting. You guys are all saying the same thing. I'm glad I asked that question. And Eric says, that's why I previously mentioned about quail cosplayers at QuailCon. Yeah, nobody dressed up as a quail. Nobody, not yet. Not yet. And Verna, thank you for catching bad guys. Silver Creek says, yeah, baby pooped in an olive Baby pooped in an olive forest green. I know that color. That's the color I'm describing for the. We have some rattlesnakes up here, up at Grant Ranch Park. There's specifically, there's some there that are just, they're green, and it's an interesting color, very camouflaging. And oh, Verna says I have enough subs for full monetization, but for that I would need 2,003 watch hours. Yeah, you'll get there. You'll get there for sure. Hey, Eric is a garden nibbler. Welcome to Katrina's Kits. Welcome. That is awesome. You're going to enjoy the Cook With Me lives, and I'm really excited about doing that. I really am. Thank you, Eric, for signing up, and welcome to the group. And Steve is saying, good catch to Verna. Apparently they said a lot. I don't know what they said, but Verna got them. And Eric says, yay, I'm a member. That's awesome. JJ says to Base Place, I try to join you whenever I see you live. You totally deserve it. Yep. I know when I can't make it, it's hard for me to do Saturday morning. I watch replays. So yeah. Eric does a heart. Aw. Verna says, oh, yeah. I don't know what they said, but you caught them, so that's good. Thank you. Silver Creek says, for the record, I tried to become a member, but I forgot my password, so you'll see me on here soon. We'll get you. We'll get you. Yeah, I don't know what it asks. Like I obviously haven't gone through that process, but on that side of things, so I don't know what the process is that way. And Verna says, thanks, JJ. And Andy's Rabbit says, me too, Verna. Yep, absolutely. Okay, I will have to block that person from my channel. Let me copy the name. Actually, I can just do it right here. I can't do it right there. All right, we'll do it a different way. We will do it a different way. I will take this and do it later. There we go. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. Silver Creek says, I'm convinced that doing 3 shorts a day along with your standard videos is the best way to build up your subscriber base. Yeah, I tend to do shorts kind of when I see something cool. And I think I need to do planned out ones as well. They're fun. I just took some pictures of, I just made like a pulled pork sandwich, but I made it with quail. And so I did take like vertical pictures with my phone for that I plan on doing a short, but I don't plan them out usually and don't think of it until I'm like, oh, I should probably share that. People would probably like that. Yeah. But there you go. Oh, Eric, snakes also make good boots and belts. I would not kill a snake for that reason. I would not kill a snake. But yeah, snakes do a lot of good ecologically. And JJ says, I love the snakes for eating the tons of slugs and snails that we have. I didn't want to put slug poison in the garden. Absolutely. So JJ, we have a snake here that's called a sharp-tailed snake. And it is literally like the size of a pencil with a little bitty sharp tail. And we think of tails as being long or short, and a snake tail actually is long or short on a snake. And it goes from the vent, which is where everything comes out, to the tip. That's what the tail is. Or kind of. And the tail is literally like this long. It's really pointy. And the sharp-tailed snakes, they actually eat slugs. And I mean, they're like slug specialists. They're really, really good at what they do, So yeah, snakes are good. All right. Britta says, also good chili. Okay. And Steve says, I can live peacefully away from any snake except a rattler. You know, most rattlesnake bites are on males between the ages of 16 and 24. I heard that from someone once. And boys don't pick up snakes. That's mostly what it is, on the hand. Verta says, Katrina, the rattlers without a rattle or those just hatched are more poisonous than the bigger ones. It's not that they're more poisonous. The younger ones, they don't have control over how much venom they're putting out. So it's the control factor. So an adult rattlesnake will be like, I'm not wasting this venom on you. You just need to go away and bite. Some of them also dry bite. So they actually do have a little bit more control over that. And then the babies don't have that yet. That's why they're more dangerous, is because they don't have that control. Yeah. No, we're going to talk about snakes today. It's all right, though. JJ says, black snakes like to rattle too, and it will freak you out if you hear it, but they don't have rattles and aren't venomous. Yeah, there's a lot of snakes that do like this in like dry leaves or something, and they make that sound. There's a lot that mimic that, which is pretty cool. And Eric says, is that a duck? Snakes also make good baby rattles. I don't know. No. And in Vietnam, we eat snakes. All right. I'm good with snakes taking care of rodents and stuff. And Verna says black snakes usually eat venomous snakes. And king snakes also do that. Like they'll eat any snake. JJ says, Verna, I've heard that the black snakes will eat baby copperheads. Yeah, so there's snakes that eat other snakes. So if you know your snakes, keep those ones around. And Verna says, Yepers. Steve says, in that case, I want to raise black snakes. Ed says, how you become a member? There is a little join button down right below the video. Should be on this side. I don't know which side this is. On the left side, is this left for you guys? It's left for me. I should ask this question. And there should be a little join button on there. And there's 3 different tiers. And everybody gets the same thing right now. I reserve the right to add things to the higher tiers if it hits me that I want to do that. Berta says, Katrina, I can teach you how to get rid of the heart that bothers most. I saw what you did on your live from Saturday, and it doesn't bother me unless I'm trying to read that thing. So I think I'll keep it. It's fine. I don't know. You guys like the heart? I don't know what it does. Besides knowing that people like what's going on. But yeah, I did see how you turned it off. And I actually saw that kind of after our first discussion and before you posted that, the how-to. You can do that when you're setting up the live. It doesn't have to be after the fact. It's one of the options, like when you say replay, it's on the same screen as the replay checkbox. Yeah. But thank you. Andy Rabbit says, I've seen canned rattlesnake in Texas. Wow. See, people like the heart. Somebody did it. I don't know. Canned. I'm interesting. People going crazy. They're loving it. Silver Creek says, right, JJ, black snakes are friend except water moccasins. Yeah. I mean, I also don't live in an area that is overrun with lots of different poisonous snakes. We pretty much just have rattlesnakes, and they're in their habitat, and you know where that is, you guys are cute. JJ says to Steve, leave the black snake in your area and it will keep other snakes from moving in, including rattlers and copperheads. That's good. And Silver Creek says, Andy, canned rattlesnake? LOL. I'm finding that for a gag Christmas gift. I would imagine it would probably be canned as a poultry, but I don't know at all. And hopefully it's commercially canned. And man, you would have to debone it probably. I don't know. Oh, in a can, like a tuna can. Interesting. Berta says, Steve, get a king snake. They are the best. King snakes are great. And oh, you don't see a join button? There should be one. If not, there'll be one in the I mean, other people have it. Maybe they can tell you where it is. But other people have it, and it'll be in all the other videos too. It'll be kind of, I think, by the subscribe. I don't know. JJ, oh, JJ, I should have just kept on reading, guys. JJ says, Ed, click on the 3 dots in the green name tags, and it will direct you. Okay. Oops, I just highlighted everything for no reason. Let's get out of that. Okay, everything's highlighted. Oh my gosh. Sorry, guys. Okay. Snakes on a plane ain't bad either. Oh, apparently I missed that one. It jumped and I had to go back and read it. All right, I'm scrolling to find out where we are, guys. Eric has a joke. My pet snake is exactly 3.14 meters long. He's a python. Eric, do you have all these in your head, or are you Googling as you go? I love that that's related content. Verna's saying it's beside the subscribe button. Yeah, I got it. Python. I got it. It's Silver Creek appreciates it. This is nice. Andy Rabbit says, on my phone. Oh, on the phone it might be different. And you're saying you're on an iPad, right? On the phone, it's where the subscription should be. Okay. Andy Rabbit's laughing at you too, Eric. JJ says to Ed, or do what Verna says, much easier. Yeah, you're on the iPad. It might be different. I don't know. We'll figure it out. None of it's on there, huh? Might have to go out of the chat. I wonder if you have to go out of the chat and then do it like you do when you hit the like button. I don't know. It's just a suggestion because I don't actually know. But we will get you there. Steve says, I don't see it on my phone either. Okay. It'll be on the videos. Okay. Ed says, good, glad I was not the only one. And PJ says I had it on my phone. That's how I joined. Interesting. We have all sorts of different stuff. Click on the words see perks to the left of the word subscribe. Okay, so it says see perks instead of join. That's interesting. Silver Creek says, just shared you out to some nature buddies of mine. Aw, thank you. Thank you. And Berna says, zebra mussels first came into the Great Lakes from the freighters. Yep. I learned about zebra mussels when I was in my undergraduate in Iowa. So I am very familiar with zebra mussels in the Mississippi River. And the feet thick dead shells of them. Yeah. Silver Creek says they're all over here in Texas, and that weird flesh-eating bacteria. Ooh. I have a video showing all the dead fish on our beach. Bass, bluegill, sunfish, carp, etc. Wow. Yeah, you don't want to deal with the flesh-eating bacteria. That is scary. We hear about that every once in a while. Here. It's not good. And I know, like, I don't know who's been following, if you guys have been following, we had all that rain in California last year, and there's actually Tulare Lake is in the valley, and it actually filled up. They busted through a levee to let it fill up because the water needed to go somewhere. And it was there, and then it got hot, and they a lot of the water birds actually have been dying of botulism, which you usually hear about in canning, right? So there's actually botulism in nature, and these birds were dying because of botulism. And so they were testing for that in a lot of the birds and a lot of the water. Yeah, it got really bad. I haven't heard anything about it in a long time. Doesn't mean it's not happening still, but I haven't heard anything about it in a long time. But yeah, were finding botulism deaths in birds because of the warm water and stagnant area. Yeah, not fun. PJ says, JJ, I think us starred people can only see the perks. You special people. All right, and I put up the Friends of Sow and Tare Facebook group link. If you didn't see that, go ahead and join that. And I'm scrolling back up. Silver Creek says, applied to the group. Awesome. We'll approve you. It'll happen. We will make it so. Eric says, what do you call a row of rabbits hopping backwards? A receding hairline. Oh, Guidro says, Guidro's approved you for the group, Silver. So Christina is Guidro's family farm, and she's my admin on the Friends of Sow and Tare. She was like, hey, you haven't approved me. Do you need help? I'm like, you want to be an admin? And she's like, yes. That was how the conversation went, right, Christina? Silver Creek says, Guy Fawkes. Okay. Remember the 5th of November, gunpowder, treason, and plot. I know of no reason why the gunpowder treason, but should ever be forgot. The guy that... Oh! Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And Andy Rabbit's laughing again, Eric. You got Andy Rabbit. You got JJ's laughing. Yeah. Verna says, I love what saffron does to rice. Yes. And if you've had it, so I only have one recipe on my channel with saffron, which is sad because I have so much saffron. I haven't used it for very many things. I've used it for other things, but I haven't videoed it. So challah, CHALLAH, is a Jewish bread. I'm not Jewish, but I make food. And it is really, really, really good. And it uses saffron. And so I do have a video on that. And I will type that out so you guys can look it up. And it's pronounced without the C in the front, I believe. Somebody who is Jewish might correct me, but I believe it's challah. And it uses saffron. It's really good bread. And the saffron that I use now that I have saffron is so much more than the recipe calls for. And it's wonderful. It's wonderful to be able to do that. Yeah. Saffron does a lot. And Silver Creek says, I just posted a picture of that white-sided rattlesnake in the group. Awesome. Awesome. We'll check it out after this is over. Eric has another one. What's invisible and smells of carrots? A rabbit's fart. So I don't know that I've heard my rabbits fart, but I have heard them and seen them hiccup, which is hilarious. I think that was in not the video from today, but last Monday. I think that was when there was hiccups on there. I only caught the tail end of it, but it's hilarious when a rabbit is hiccuping. It's just funny. Yeah. And Silver Creek's laughing at Eric. Silver Creek says, I have been to Acon in Dallas twice, but it was years ago. I definitely like some old school anime. Akira, One Piece, DBZ. That's what you grew up with. I know nothing about anime. I'm not really a fan of anime. I have a friend that is a drawer of anime, and she is really, really good. And she's the one who did my my logo, and she's really good. She does like art fights, I think is what they're called, like competitions. Pretty cool. Eric says, Dad named David. If I ever had a son, I would name him Harley. That way everyone would go, Yeah, that's Harley, David's son. Oh boy. So Creek's talking about his dog. Heiser is super careful now. They are working dogs. If they aren't working, they don't feel accomplished at all. They love it. Absolutely. Absolutely. That it's good that he's doing things. He feels important. He's doing things. Ed says apparently if you're an Apple user, you can't be a member. I'm sure that's not true. Yeah. There's got to be a way. Silver Creek says Streamlabs would fix that with any membership issues. It's a third-part program that runs a bit for YouTube. Okay. Yeah, I haven't looked into any of that. Yeah. Eric says we need a cop song, Bad Boys, whenever Vernon catches bad guys. Luckily, it doesn't have to happen that often, but that would be very cool if that just started playing. Yeah. That would be pretty cool. Verna likes the idea. And Verna said, I just need to do more videos. Lazy that way. Yep. Eric says, I make music videos on Instagram and Facebook. That's good. And Verna says, I still haven't harvested the birds that I need to do. You know, it's all right. You get there. As long as you're feeding and watering them, it's fine. Andy says, I'm going to log off. I'll see you all later. Thanks for stopping by, Andy Rabbit. And Silver Creek says, very same here. I was good about a schedule with them, but this summer has been brutal and I've been crazy busy. Silver Creek, I have been super busy, and I've mostly, except for when I went to QuailCon and the Heirloom Expo, I've been keeping my schedule because I'm trying to work on something, and I know both of you guys are as well, but I made it a priority to do that. And something that I try to do, and I'm trying to do again because I used them up, is to make some videos that I cache away for, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to do something. Oh, I thought I could do this, but it's not, and it's already a done video, so I can upload it. So some things like recipes, sometimes that happens with recipes that are not seasonally relevant, stuff like that, where you can make a cache so that you can say, okay, I have a little extra time now. I'm going to make some videos that are more general. And I think you could do that with your aquatic stuff pretty easily, for sure. But yeah, that's what I am working towards again, because I used them all. Hey, Guidro's Family Farm is a garden nibbler. Welcome to the membership. Welcome to Katrina's Kits. I'm so happy you're part of that. And I'm excited for this. I'm so excited for this, guys. I'm more excited now that you guys are actually signing up. I'm like, oh, will people sign up, or were they just saying, yeah, they'd like to? But this is going to be an awesome thing to do. Silver Creek says, and it was way too hot for electrical equipment to be sitting outside. It's amazing how things overheat quickly. And there needs to be like a camera manufacturer that thinks about these things and deals with that. Yeah. Erica says, see you later, Andy. Yes. And thanks, Guidros, Verna says. Everybody saying goodnight to Andy. PJ says, night, all. Early morning coming here. Hugs to all. Hugs to you too, PJ. And have a wonderful morning. She gets up so early. Steve says, well, if they only bite young boys, I should be safe. No, it's about the age group and the decisions that boys of that age group typically make. It's the same reason why car insurance is expensive for that age group of that gender. Yeah. Yep. I know someone that has been bit 3 times, 2 of which were because he was reaching for a rattlesnake. Let's say that again. Has been bit 3 times by rattlesnakes, 2 of which are because he was reaching for rattlesnakes at different times. That's a boy. Well, he was an older boy at that point. Yeah. Silver Creek says rattlesnakes have a rattle for a reason. It's to warn you to stay away. If you hear it, dart being observant of the space around you and slowly move away from the sound. Yep. And that's if they rattle. Dart. Start. You can dart too. You can be like, go, go. Point the other way. I don't know if that's going to work, Steve. Silver Creek says king snakes and most solid black snakes eat other snakes. Exception, water moccasins. They're not solid black, but it's hard to tell until you get too close. Well, don't get too close then. Yeah. Steve says the heart bothers me if I tried to change what I typed. But that's just me. It changed what you type. I don't know why it would change what you type. Eric says joining on YouTube on the computer, but don't think you can join on the phone. PJ did. I don't know. It's a weird thing. We'll figure it out. Brenna doesn't like the heart. Okay. Silver Creek says if you are on a mobile device or tablet, turn it sideways, the heart will go away. Oh, so it's affecting things differently. I don't know. Yeah. Steve says the join is on an Android, not on an iPhone. That is so weird. Why is it different? Silver Creek says, oh gosh, Texas is almost like little Australia when it comes to venomous snakes. We're probably second to Central and South America on the amount of venomous we see. Well, that's fun. That's fun. Oh, yeah, it's also on the homepage. Thank you, Verna. Yeah, so the membership is also on the homepage. It should be on there. On Wednesday, I'm going to be putting up a video about it, and I will hopefully know more about what to look for then and where to go. So I kind of put it off, and I did already film that, but we will see. Now I know there's some differences. Yeah. Steve says it's not on their Mac. I don't know why Apple has to be Apple. Interesting. Snake tacos. What are you doing to snakes? Yeah, Verna says doesn't like Google stuff. Eric says no join on iPhone, maybe on Android. Yeah, it's on Android. Interesting. Fish tacos? Ugh. Steve says nope. Out and back in, not on iPhone. Interesting. Dad jokes everywhere Facebook group. Oh boy. Okay, well, I'm going to try and look up how to do it on Apple then, because that's good to know. I always think it shows up the same for everybody, but of course it doesn't, right? JJ says, I try to remember Eric's jokes to share with my hubby. Yeah, that's good. That's good. And he appreciates that. He says, nice. Joy says, on my phone, it says member. Did you join? It doesn't tell me that you joined. Well, welcome, though. And I just skipped, so I have to go back to where we were. Let's see. It says member. Interesting. I'm going to have to research this, and maybe it takes time for some people. I don't know. But welcome. Verna says, yeah, zebra mussels back in the late 80s, early 90s. Yeah. And Eric says, good cognitive memory for me to memorize dad jokes. Good. They're memorized. That's awesome. It is definitely as good cognitive practice for sure. Ed says, I've tried everything, but using an iPad or iPhone cannot be a member. I'm going to look that up, and I'll post it on the Friends of Sow and Tare Facebook group if I find an answer. Because that's frustrating. JJ says so. It's probably not a good idea to eat zebra mussels. JJ, they're like this big. They're pretty tiny. No, if they're, are they edible? I'm sure they are. Yeah, zebra mussel taco. JJ, are you just craving tacos? I have this idea you're just craving tacos. And Eric says, I signed up using Chrome browser in the laptop. Oh, so browser might be, I don't know. And Silver Creek says, he's laughing at JJ, now you're talking. All right. That was pretty much it. Yeah, the conversation. I was like, I haven't even been on there all day. You want to do it? Yep. You've been doing good. No complaints. Thank you for doing that, by the way. Ed says that's because there isn't one on. Interesting. Yeah, we're gonna have to look at that. JJ is going to make a gyro, I think is how you say it. I lost my craving for tacos because of the snakes or because of the zebra mussels. Do quail fart? JJ, I don't know. I know they don't burp because birds don't burp, and that's why you're not supposed to feed them certain things. I don't know. Does anybody know? Because this is actually quail related, right? I know they don't burp because birds don't burp because they have a circular airway that's different than ours is. Eric says, must smell like eggs if quail do fart. Their poop stinks enough. Oh boy. And Verna says, quail do not fart. Okay. We have the definitive answer from Verna. Verna says, I have an order for quail. LOL. She wants to wait a few days. Okay. You don't have to butcher them yet, huh? Erica says, it's after 10 and I have to go to work tomorrow, so I'm off to bed. Good night, Erica, and congratulations on becoming a member. Yay. JJ says, I made some homemade noodles with quail eggs for my hubby's dinner. He loved them. That's really good. I need to actually do this because I bought flour a long time ago, and flour doesn't last forever. I got a bunch of different kinds of flour a long time ago, and I was going to make the same recipe with different flours for noodles and see which one is best. I haven't done it yet. I haven't done a lot of things yet, guys. All right. Everybody's saying goodnight to Erica. Eric says, can you make balut with quail eggs? Yes, you can. It's a 12-day thing. Verna has a video on that on Vay's Place, and Folster Farms has a video on that on their channel, The Quail Barn. I don't know who else might have things on that. My Shire Farm has how to do it. And yeah, it is that, and you already know that, but it's called something else when it's a quail egg and not a duck egg. But I don't remember what it's called. Yes, people do it. And Verna says, yes, they're tasty. Now I have to try it, he says. Gidras says, we are heading off to bed. Have a great night, friends. Good night. Oh my gosh, it's almost 8:30. Good night, and thank you for coming. I'm glad you are a new member, and it's going to be fun. Verna put a link to that video. Okay. And Eric, JJ says they're incubated 10 to 14 days. Yeah, 10 to 14 days, and I think most people do 12 days. I've never made them, so I haven't done that. But yeah, and that's exactly what JJ says. Can I make them? I can. Anybody with an incubator and quail can make them. I don't know that I will anytime soon, but maybe we can try it one of these days. Okay, Eric, what I need is a good dipping sauce for them, because I believe they have dipping sauces for them, right? Is there a good dipping sauce recipe? All right, I gotta scroll. Verna's gonna let me answer that. And JJ said, "Would Katrina eat balut quail eggs?" I would try it. Yeah, I would try it. I think it's a little weird, but I would try it. Yeah, with a good dipping sauce. JJ says to Vase Place, "I've been tempted to try them, but then changed my mind." That's fine, and you might like it. Yeah. Steve says every instruction for iPhone, iPad says click join, but it's not there. Okay, we're going to have to research that. That will be a research project. It might be there tomorrow, Steve. Yeah, you have to pay for that upgrade in Apple. You got to get the right cord for that. Sorry. JJ says to Eric, my neighbors used to make me play cards with them, and my kids sent me puzzles to help heal from TBS. All of it was very helpful. Puzzles, like my brain puzzles, or piece of puzzles. Probably both of them, huh? All right, Eric says, gotta go rehab my walking now. Good night, Kat and everyone. Good night, and thank you. And you did another super chat or super sticker. Thank you for that, and thank you for becoming a member. Congratulations on that, and absolutely congratulations on your walking, because that is above and beyond the best thing of the night, for sure. Awesome. Everybody's saying good night. And Verna says, quail do not fart as they do not have the bacteria in their stomachs like other animals. There we go. Most birds can't. They don't have stomachs with bacteria that mammals do. All right. I knew they couldn't burp. I didn't know about that. Val is here. Welcome, Val. We are usually past where we usually end, but that is okay. If you have questions or comments or discussion topics, homestead related, go ahead and put them in here, and you're good. It says, hello, 4:23 in UK. I woke up and remembered you were live. Well, it's the middle of the night, middle of the morning. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Glad you thought of me. Silver Creek says, fun fact, fish pee. We're on weird topics tonight, just a warning. Fish pee constantly. Basically, every time they breathe, they are urinating as well. The more you know. Yeah. Do you remember the more you know? The more you know. Bing. I say that and people don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of seafood. Everything I've tried has just not been great, and so I always joke when someone says, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna have such and such." I'm like, that's marinated in whale pee, right? Sometimes it's appreciated, sometimes it's not. And Verna says, "Hey Val, hope you're well." And Val says, "Yep, hope you're good." All right, everybody saying hi to Val. Welcome. And Silver Creek says, crazy is my kind of people. Yep. Oh, Val's just getting over COVID. I hope you are doing well with that and hope it didn't hit you too hard. I've had it once. That was when the tests were not available, and my mom brought it home, and I avoided him, and I felt bad I had symptoms for like 2 hours, and that was it. So I was, like kind of it gets in your head like, oh, did I have it? Did I not have it? But we didn't have tests at that time. And by the time I tested it, it would have been way out of the system. And I didn't know that that's actually what I had until I gave blood, and it came back as a positive test for that, which is actually fine because my blood, if you give blood, I give blood regularly. It's every other month is when I give blood. And, if you have a positive result on there, then your blood can actually be used for convalescence. So for helping people heal that are having really bad problems with it. So I think that's pretty cool. So hopefully you're doing good, and hopefully you don't have any long-term effects. Yeah. And JJ says, welcome to the other side of COVID, Val. Oh boy. And I drank lots of dandelion root tea and ate a lot of apple peels. Yeah. Ginger is another good one. Garlic is another good one. And she says, for me, seemed to help flush the system. Yeah. So something else people didn't remind me. It's okay. You guys reminded me last week. I actually do now have, I believe, all the ingredients to make the fire cider. So I'm going to be making that hopefully this week. And so that'll come out maybe next week, maybe the week after, doing fire cider. So that is in the plans. I have all the ingredients, I believe. So we'll get that done. And then you can make that. And that has tons of good stuff. And I was drinking that, not drinking, but like taking a little bit of it every day for all through the COVID. I don't know. It's not over, right? But through that time period. Yeah. And Val says, I've had it in 2021 and was hospitalized. Oh, wow. This time it presented in a totally different way. That's what I've heard. Yeah. And hopefully in a better way. Hopefully it's better. Yeah. And yeah, Verna's right. It's mutated quite a few times. Yeah. And Verna says, I'm eating clove and honey right now. Yeah. Yeah. And JJ says, yeah, Val, we had it a few times. Mostly I had it very little to no symptoms, but took care of the one sick. Each time was different. And it presents differently for different people, which is so weird. It's so weird. But I'm glad you're coming out of it. I'm glad that you're on this side of it and you're going good. For sure. And yeah, but that did remind me that I am going to be making the fire cider soon. Fire cider, all it is it's a infused apple cider vinegar with the mother. That's what it is. That's what you're making. You're infusing it with all the good stuff. So I'll be doing that video sometime soon. And Silver Creek says, I've been on moringa and manuka honey since last spring and have barely gotten sick. Been laid up, become stricken with. English is weird. Oh, you're just trying to find the right words. Yeah, moringa is incredible, and manuka. I want to put an L in that every single time I say it, and it doesn't have an L. Manuka honey is very good, and it's more widely available than it used to be. So it used to be like, oh, where do I find this? And now like it's in grocery outlet, So, yeah. Yeah. And I didn't plant moringa again this year. I know we talked about that. I have seeds. I know I talked about doing that. Where I am here, it would have to be indoors or it would have to come inside in the winter. Or you just plant it for that season and regrow because it dies back. And I do know someone that has it in his garden up in the East Bay, but it dies back to the roots and then it comes back every year. And I think if I put it in the ground like I did before, again, we were talking about clay soils, and clay soils really hold on to water. And that one that I bought as a tree, it actually died, I think, from root rot because of the water. So, yeah, that's something else. Yeah, Val says moringa doesn't do well here. I've tried. Yeah, so Val, I had an idea with moringa, and I just haven't done it. It fell apart, so I don't really have it anymore. But I had a wine barrel, and you can put rolly wheels on the bottom and roll that back and forth. But then what I was thinking is, back and forth, indoor, outdoor. So in the outdoor, in the summer, it can be outside, and in the winter, it can come inside to the screen and porch and then be protected on top of that. That was my thoughts. But my thoughts was to seed a whole bunch of them in that area. And because I've seen people do this kind of more of an annual thing where they cut it they cut it really low, like this low every time it gets, maybe this high, they cut it, and then it just has more sprouts. And so you end up with a bushy looking container that you can harvest from more frequently. You wouldn't get the seed pods, you wouldn't get the flowers doing it that way, but you would get the leaves. And so I was thinking about doing that way, so you could still get the benefits of it. And then in the wintertime, you could either, let it die and reseed it in the next year, or have it be covered, cut it all the way down and then cover it, so that it if the roots live, that's all you need to happen, because then it would just come up again. So that was my idea. I didn't actually do it, but that's how I would grow it in my area, or have a greenhouse. JJ says, fun fact, some schools in Africa have the kids drink sweet and tea once a week to prevent malaria. Interesting. Yeah. Silver Creek says, another fun Africa fact, moringa is single-handedly responsible for bringing many areas out of starvation because of its nutrient density. Also, Africa is not the original name. The original name of Africa is Akabulan, which translates to Garden of Eden, mother of all life. That's an interesting fact. JJ says, I'm overwintered moringa in zone 6, enough to keep it alive and collect the leaves in the summer, but moringa doesn't do much for me. So do you mulch it? Like, do you mulch it heavily at the base? And then I'm guessing it dies back at the top, because it dies back here. And I'm zone 9B. Val says, mine didn't get that far. It was a non-starter. Okay. Yeah. I'll grow it again next year and see if I can try some different ways to start it, because it's supposed to start pretty readily. And I know Silver Creek, you were telling us last time we talked about moringa about starting it in warm water, right? With your aquarium involved. I think that was what your key was. So I think probably using a heat mat to start, or starting it in warm water, would be a good thing. Yeah. JJ saying cooled Silver Creek, and Alkebulan. Alkebulan. JJ says, I pull moringa out of the ground, pot it in small pot, then replant in spring, and it grows about 5 to 6 foot tall. Okay. Yeah, so you're doing the same thing I'm saying. You're just actually repotting instead of just moving a container in and out. Yeah, that makes sense. That's awesome to know you can do that in zone 6. That is really awesome to know that. Verna, thank you for staying so late, and thank you for catching bad guys, and thank you for everything. Have a good night. And she says, everyone have a blessed night. Yeah, get some rest. Yeah, so having moringa around is a really good thing. And I when I had it before it died in the winter, I bought a tree. And when I had it, it was a really neat thing to have, and the flowers taste wonderful as well. It's a very cool plant and very good. It's a very good for you plant. Silver Creek says, it'll get bigger, JJ. It likes heat even during germination. I germinate it in high flow tropical temp water. That's what I was trying to say. And JJ says, yes, moringa needs a fan on it and artificial lights to survive the indoors winter. A fan. Interesting. There's all sorts of tricks to growing things for sure. And I want to know all of them. Yeah. So Val, since you came on late and we're still on here, if you would like to talk about something specific, let us know, because we're still here. It'll die without the fan. Don't know why. I wonder if it's has to do with like moisture settling somewhere. I don't know. That is an odd one. How did you figure that out? And guys, I've had tea sitting in front of me and I haven't had any of it. This is the lemon verbena from the backyard that I dried during the Every Bit Counts challenge. Lemon verbena tea. It's cold now. Yeah, I want to try growing moringa again. And I have seeds. They might be a little old, but we'll see if they work. That's interesting about the fan, though. Because that was another thing I was going to grow, as I was going to grow cinnamon. And I actually got a plant, and it came and it died in a week. And so I could reach out to the company, and they said they'd replace it, but they didn't have any. And I haven't even matched up with them yet about that. That was many years ago. Yeah, so there's for that, I was also going to grow it in a wine barrel, because on wheels, so you can move it around. It grows you cut it every 2 years, right? It grows for 2 years. You cut it down to like this big, and then it sprouts and it grows for 2 years, and you cut it again. And it's the bark. The cinnamon is the bark that you eat. It's the inner bark. So I was going to do that, and I was going to do moringa, and I was going to do, what's the other one that was out there that I was going to do? There was one other one that was kind of on that same pathway. Yeah. All right. JJ says, I lost some of my moringas during winter, the ones that didn't have fan on them. Okay, that's how you find things out. Interesting. Val says, I've been watching your deep bedding quail videos, but I'm happy to learn about everything. I like to listen. Well, that is good. Hopefully you've seen the videos of the little babies. We had 9 babies hatch in the aviary, in the main aviary, and one of them was dead by the time I saw them. And since then, she's lost more, so she has 5 left, and they are running, zooming around the aviary. It's so much fun. So, yeah. And then I will be starting filming stuff. It's not film, it's electric stuff, right? I will be starting recording videos for the Quail University course on aviaries, raising quail in aviaries, soon. So probably starting next week, I'll be starting to film some of that stuff. So that is something to look forward to, and it'll come out sometime next year. So yeah. We've gone on the random stuff here. You can go back to the beginning and watch it later. We went all over the place. JJ says, I start moringa from seeds, easy, and it takes a little time. Okay. And Silver Creek says the plant likes salts from African dust, Epsom salts, so airflow makes sense. Wind blown in the desert areas, and lots of natural electrolytes. Okay. So you're saying throw salt in front of a fan? I'm joking. Don't do that. But yeah, that makes sense that it's something to do with the wind. Yeah. And JJ saying, interesting. And JJ's asking Val, you can also replay the live video and read the chat too. Yes. Yeah, that is true. Yes, you saw it. It's amazing. It is amazing, isn't it? But they actually do that all on their own, and the babies are so fast. They're like twice as fast as the ones in the brooder, I swear. They're so fast. Yeah. Silver Creek says the electrolyte salts from Africa are what assists the fertilization of the tropical rainforest as well. That makes sense. Dust has to have a purpose, right? Yeah, that's true. JJ's laughing at me. And windy salts. Yeah. I mean, you could create a whole story behind why yours are being successful, and like, I need sand, I need dust, I need African dust. Watch, that's going to be a commodity now. Someone's going to collect African dust to give. It works in the Amazon, and it'll work for you. Oh boy, nobody cut that and put it anywhere. Silver Creek says the dust from storms from Africa are filled with salts. It makes sense. It makes sense. He's laughing. No, not table salt. Things like Epsom's. I wasn't being serious. I hope no one thinks I'm being serious. Yeah. JJ's getting loopy. You guys, it is 8:45. So I think if people are done talking and done asking questions, we might be done. If you have questions or have comments, we'll give a little last bit here. Again, I did start the memberships up, and that should be a join button on the bottom. Through the comments, we're seeing that maybe Apple might have an issue with the join button, so I'm going to have to figure out that, and I'll get back to you guys on that in the Friends of Sow and Tare Facebook group, which I'll put the link for again. It didn't stay there, so let me copy and paste. And so I'll let you guys know in there what we find out, and if you guys find out before me, because I work full time, put it in there for other people to know how to join. And we're going to do a Cook With Me live monthly, and it's going to be a whole lot of fun. I'm excited for it. Yeah, for sure. All right. JJ says, thank you, Katrina. We love you. Have a good night. Love you guys too. And good night, everyone. Always great to chat with y'all. We went everywhere tonight, so it's okay. We got lots of topics down. This is not a single topic channel, I tell you that. Val says, I will be sure to check in next week. Night, everyone. All right. Good night, everyone. Thank you for joining and staying on so late. We still have 9 people in here. So thank you. Thank you for joining. And have a wonderful night. We'll see you next week. Same time, same channel, 6 p.m. Pacific time. And we'll go from there. All right. Good night, guys.